Hi, Gargi. I'm home today. I don't have very good internet, so I won't have my video on.
It's okay. It's okay. It's nice to have you.
Okay, thanks.
How are you?
Excellent. Good.
Superb. So we shall wait for a few minutes because I
Okay.
thought everybody would be going through the calendar and signing in, but
Yeah.
then I realized it's better to send email. So
Okay. Okay.
we'll wait for a few more minutes and then we will start.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
Meanwhile, we can connect
Sure.
with each other. So tell me, what is the vision behind this session? What you are expecting
Tell me.
from this session?
Don't know. I just saw my email, so I promptly thought, oh, it's past 11. And I'd be keen to see what you do with 3Ds.
Thank you so much. I'll be more excited to share my journey, what I do with 3D. So we have one more
Okay.
guest, Surumita. Okay. Hi, Surumita. Okay, she's still connecting.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm,
So, Surumita, what are your expectations from this session?
I don't know anything about 3D painting. I just want to learn it from the
Perfect.
scratch if it's possible.
Superb. That was the whole I would say, vision behind this session. So I hope I'll contribute a little, but I'll definitely contribute something positive to your journey.
Any knowledge about technology is always good.
And because we are the generation who has just a storm of the technology, but our kids, they are actually learning, and it will be great if we can be in that journey with them.
Yes, my son is like 2.5 years. When he goes to school, he will definitely do such things. I don't want to look like I don't know anything. It's something out of scratch.
Hello, Joyce. So I'll just put a message also. Like I dropped the email little late, so I'll be waiting for like 11:20 or 25, and then I'll start the session. So
Okay,
meanwhile,
so can I join you in 5 minutes?
please, please, yes.
Okay, okay.
Hello, Guna.
Hello,
Hi, how
Joyce.
are you?
Good.
Hello, Joyce.
Oh, hello.
It's
Hello.
nice to
Thank you.
connect like this.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thanks for arranging this session. So let's see.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So a basic question I'm asking to everyone: what is your vision behind this session? When you just click the Zoom meeting link, what was the first thought you had?
Just to see how it works, like just to learn something new.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
That's great. The
Hmm.
urge to new learn something. Great.
Hmm.
What about you, Joyce?
Yeah, almost the same. Thought of learning something new, something
Great
new, but
thinking.
yeah. The only thing is that I don't know how continuously I'll be able to attend this because some teachers are
I
coming in
agree.
between.
I agree. I
Even if
totally
it is,
understand.
yeah.
But thank you so much. You are taking efforts to join the session. I appreciate it. So, my vision behind this session is uh, 3D printing or any other technology is something which you or we can say the adult ones, they are just listening. Okay, this is a new technology, but the kids to whom we are associated, maybe as parent or relative or neighbors or anybody, they are actually exploring those stuff. So they have the great opportunity to tinker in themselves and utilize this opportunity. But what about people like us? Okay, I am lucky, touch wood, that I have the chance to work with 3D printer daily. But in our daily lives, somewhere we all have came across this technology, but we don't know it. So let's have a small talk on this whole initiative, and I will try my best to equip you all with the best and at least the soundable knowledge with which you can say, okay, this is exactly what does 3D printing does. So you don't have to say again, oh, I'm clueless. So my efforts will be in this direction to make you stand wherever somebody talks about 3D printing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's almost 11:22. We'll wait 3 more minutes and we will begin by 11:25. So Guna, how is sound technology working for you?
All good.
Anything new came? I'm totally unaware about this field.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nothing new. Everything is going well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what all can you make with the 3D printer?
Great question, ma'am. So tell me anything, any object came to your mind, and I'll say whether we can print or not. Then it will give you a vision like, oh, it's all over the world. Like starting from the human body, in today's time, 3D printers have developed so much that they can print a little tiny, you can say, live heart. Yes.
Oh,
3D printers can give you stem cells, which we can
Oh.
use in different cases of a person suffering from major diseases.
oh, oh.
The object behind this 3D printer, are they all printed from the Christmas tree, which is like Eiffel Tower? I can see behind it. Is it printed through 3D printer?
Okay, so whatever is the background, it is a mixture of laser cutting and 3D printing. Laser
Okay.
cutting we will be having tomorrow. Today we will
Okay.
be focusing on 3D printing itself. So I'll just show you how a 3D printed Eiffel Tower looks like. And
So
let's
all
begin.
this going to miniature pieces. The size all depending upon the printer size, or it's just
You're correct.
what we said.
You're correct. So, okay, when we let's think like this, we want to create something, and I believe in our lives, at any point when we were in school or we were just growing up, we have created at least single thing. So when we create, we have a limited resource available to us. Okay, so the size, the actual size which will come up depends upon the resource availability. Now in this resource, you have machine. What is the machine size area? How much time you have to give if you want to print something in 2 minutes? So then accordingly you have to reduce the size. So the white one took 1 hour to print. The blue one took 3.5 hours to print, and the bigger one, the wooden Eiffel Tower, it was laser cut, and it took only 20 minutes to just cut, and then rest 20 minutes to assemble. So
So
it gives,
laser cut is a faster process.
yes. Now, you once you have the exposure to both the technologies, you got to decide like which design is best suited for laser cutting and which one is best suited for 3D printing. everything we cannot go for 3D printing, everything we cannot go for laser cutting. They have their own limitations. So let's start the main discussion now. Welcome, Hema ma'am. When we talk about 3D printing, the very first thing we need is a 3D design. Now we all are living in the computer world, so there is no need for paper drawings. Every drawing is happening on computer. That is called CAD model, computer aided design. Okay, so from this computer aided design, you generate a 3D or a three-dimensional object. Now how a three-dimensional object look like, I'll just share you my screen and I'll show you. This picture best describes it. Okay, so anything which can be done on a paper is a two-dimensional thing, but something which comes as a solid thing, the third dimension which added is the thickness. So when we extrude is the terminology which we often use to tell that the object has got some thickness. So when we extrude a particular 2D drawing, it becomes a 3D drawing. Now this particular model has various extensions to get saved in. For example, we can work in PPT, we can work in Excel, we can work in Word. So they have their respective extensions. So when we are doing this CAD modeling, we have our own extensions, and the most widely used extension notes. Okay, so the file extension which widely works is STL. So from open source platform, now what are open source platforms? Open source platforms are those which directly provides you this three-dimensional object.
Okay.
So what you need to do is, or anybody who is a beginner in 3D, they have to just type any object name, and then after that they can type just .stl files. So for example, I'm interested in having some 3D earrings. Okay. Now 3D earrings, either model you can go. So it will just show you a 3D model. It will not allow you to have the file with which you have to work. So it's better to have 3D earrings STL files. Okay. The site which I prefer the best is the thingiverse.com. This is the website which helped me to gather all the experience which I had today. Okay. So directly you have to just go and download the files. Because they are open source, they will not charge you anything. All they ask you is for some feedback, something like that. Okay, once the file is downloaded, now your 3D model is ready. Okay, you need a platform where you can interact with the model in terms of your 3D printer. For example, when you go to take out a printout, so first you work on an Excel sheet, you prepare your file, and then you maybe through server or through pen drive, you have to take it to the machine. Now, when you are taking to the machine, there is no conversion happening. The same Excel is going to the machine and it's getting printed out. But the same thing is not applicable here. Why? Because when you are working in this 3D model zone, you can understand what is you can say what is 3 how thick it's working. Okay, but for a computer brain, everything needs to convert into either 0 or 1 language. That's called as binary language, machine language. So when you convert your 3D model into a machine language, that process is called slicing. Now when you are slicing, you need a slicer. So open source slicer available is your Cura. This is one of the best slicers available. Many others are also there, but it has great features to work with. So slicer is ready. Fine. Let's go to the Finder. The file which has downloaded was, let me check the name, laser cut earrings. Okay. So we need to unzip this because it's a zip file. So we can just double click, it will unzip and the folder will get ready. Now inside the folder, we have to look for .stl files. So we have .svg, svg, 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 svg. So it doesn't have any stl file. So we have to look out for some other. Let's try this one. Okay, maybe I have already downloaded few files. I'll use them. This is your load option where you go and select from your system where your files are stored. So let's go to this one. Okay, Mr. Delfino is here. Fine. Let's go to this folder, file. Yes, these are all STL. I can work with any of them. I'll select them. Okay, now the files are loaded. Now this slicer will give you a, you can say, virtual experience about the actual process which will happen on your 3D printer. Now, when things are happening on a 3D printer, there are various stages. Okay, so I would like to stop here, and I would like how the 3D printing actually works. Then I'll explain every step. I'll show you something. So let me share my screen again. Share. And I would like to show you the actual 3D printing. Go through the video. I'll again replay and I'll start explaining. Perfect. Now, this particular plate is your build plate where the actual model is building. Now, this has some length and width, okay? That is your X and Y axis. Now, this nozzle, this one is the nozzle. This nozzle can go up and down, okay? So this will become your third axis, that is your Z axis. Now from this nozzle, the entire assembly is called extruder. Okay, let me write it. First we discussed STL, now extruder, and we discussed about build plate also. Okay, now extruder is not a single entity, it's a kind of assembly. What it will have a thermistor, a temperature sensing device. Now, why do we need temperature? So we need temperature because the actual material with which we are printing, for example, we are printing this Eiffel. So in this Eiffel, the filament or the material which are used is a plastic material. Okay. Usually we prefer, or the printer which we have, it can only print the plastics or the polymer, we can say. Now in this polymer also, we have only few categories of printing material, that is PLA, polylactic acid polymer. Then we have ABS, and yes, then we have TPU. Now these are the basic acronyms. Now PLA will have a melting point of around 210 degrees Celsius. Then your ABS is having a melting temperature of around 230 degrees Celsius. Then TPU is having temperature around 260 degrees Celsius. These are the melting. Okay. So you are having a material which is in solid state. Now you want to convert it into a liquid state. Then again you want it to solidify. What is the exact thing is happening here. Some liquid is coming. Now layer by layer we are dropping that liquid. Basically we are changing the Z axis with the help of the nozzle, and your X and Y axis remains constant. So layer by layer you're now how this X, Y, Z axis are generated. That is where your slicer comes in. This slicer, this platform will convert all your curves, edges, holes, every minute detailing into 3 coordinates, X, Y, and Z. Now how it does? That is your slicing part. So once you slices out, it converts the STL extension into G code. So what is the role of STL? Slicer. It will convert the STL code into G code. G code is a generic code or geometrical code, with which the actual 3D printer works around. Now, once this conversion is done, during the conversion, you have a lot of power to do. For example, you are not happy with the size with which these objects have came in. Okay, select it. You have several options. The first option allows you to move in X, Y, Z. They have a graphical aid for you also to tell you X is this axis. You can shift in this. This is your Y, and top is your Z axis. Okay. Now, sometimes when you are loading the file, it by default goes outside the box. This box is your build area. Okay. If you just multiply XY, it will give you area. If you multiply XYZ, it will give you volume. So entirely, if we talk about, go down. Okay. Okay, this blue color box, it's a closed box. Now this box is your build volume. Yes, this one is the build volume. So your purpose is whenever the file is loaded, always keep it inside the build volume, and it should touch your plate. Now, if it's not touching your plate, you're not aware about this basic thing. What will happen? You will just turn on the machine. Machine will read the XYZ location. Without dropping the liquid on the plate, it will start doing its purpose. But if the first layer is not actually touching the build plate, how the rest of the layers will form? It will keep on falling. Okay. So that's why it's very important. Your object should be inside the build volume, and it should touch your build plate. Now, how to make it touch the build plate? You have an option called as lay flat. So you select this option. By default, in whatever orientation your object was, it will touch the build plate. You have other options also to like rotate the objects. When you click, okay, I just want to reset it. Now my angle has been changed, right? So what I can do, I can just select, and these circles can help me to rotate in 3 axes, X, Y, and Z. So make it flat. I would like to rotate it in green one. Okay. I rotated half and then I'll press the lay flat option just for a cross check. Now, once this is done, if you are interested in mirroring, you can copy the object also. You can multiply the object also. Okay. Let's start with the basic one. We have placed the object perfectly inside the build volume. Okay. But I can still see it's not completely on flat. So let's go back. Let's rotate it a little bit more. Let's do lay flat. Okay, this looks perfect. Then you click on slice. It will start cutting out your 3D object into layers. So this, but is my camera visible? Like when I'm speaking and sharing my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
So
it is.
this particular object is having layers. Like we have a bunch of hairs and what is a bunch? It's a layer. So by layer, it has come up. So G codes are generating X and Y at every particular layer. Now, what should be the gap between first layer and the second layer? That you can control. Now, when you control that, you are actually controlling the quality of your 3D print. Okay. So we have categories like coarse layers, refined layers. If you keep, okay, yes, layer height. Now this layer height will again depend upon various parameters like what is the diameter of the nozzle. This is the nozzle. How big or how thin is the diameter, which can allow the passage of your liquid material. Okay, if you keep it within the range, sorry, wrong, yeah. So 0.3 means it's a big dia for the liquid to come in. Now 0.1 means 0.1 will be little lesser. So 0.1 goes into the finer or a refined object. 0.3 will give you a coarse object. Coarse object, you can just with a distance you can tell, oh, these are the layers. But if it's a very refined object, it's very difficult to even distinguish, like it's made up of layers. So that's how the layer plays role in your 3D printing. Then these are sub properties which I would like to ignore right now because we don't have much time. I'll quickly tell you the basic things like with which you can 3D print anytime without anybody's assistance. Okay, so first thing, you have to take care of the layer height, and then you have to take care of what kind of support you want. So what happens if this is the initial layer? Okay, when your print will be ready, when you bring that out, the initial layer should be protected. For that you need support. So again, the best support you can give is again depend upon how much time you have to print the object. If you have a lot of time, then give the bestest support, that is everywhere. Okay, nowhere, everywhere. You choose everywhere. Now if you are running out of time and you know the entire piece is flat, like for this I know there is vacuum, or we can say there is no material. No vacuum, sorry, my bad. There is no material. So in this case, it's very important to give everywhere. Now, when you say everywhere, it will take care of this arc also. Okay. And at these square bottoms also, it will print the material, support material. So depending upon the object orientation, type, your need of time, you select the support material. So second category is done. After that, you have to check the material, the fill density. Now, what is the fill density? For example, this Eiffel Tower, how strong I want it to be, okay, from the inside. Inside strength is your infill density. Now, if you increase it to 100%, see, with 25%, it's showing 8 minutes. and it will require 2 grams of the material. If I just make it 100, come, okay, and then I slice it. It's still 8 minutes. Okay, that's probably because of the model we have selected, but with this, it will show you a drastic change. With 100%, it might show you like it requires 12 hours to print. But with 20 or 10%, it was showing me around 3 hours, 30 minutes. So that's how you have to, third property which you take care is the fill density. Now, after that, we have to take care of the material which we are using. Okay. Why? Because we have to set the printing temperature. So PLA, I told you, with our printer, we can print PLA, ABS, and TPU. So for PLA, I put 210, and that's it. Rest, we can leave it as a default settings. We don't have to bother about them. And then just, you have to save this file. Now, when I'm saving this, I don't have a pen drive, but I have a card reader. So I'll just use my card reader. Okay, let's say cancel. Let's say save file. No, it's still. Okay, let me change something. Let me make this as 211. And now slice. Okay, now it says save to the removable device. So I'll save this. Now it will tell you that the extension is G code. This is what I was talking about. Your STL is getting converted into G code. Now this G code, you have to send it to the printer. Okay. So we covered this layer part. We covered this nozzle part also. Nozzle is a diverging converging device. At the opening, it will be a divergent section. At the closing, it will be a convergent section, so that the velocity increases, pressure decreases. Okay. And with less pressure, more velocity, the fluid will come and the print will happen faster. Okay. Apart from this nozzle, you have a temperature measuring device with which the melting temperature of the filament is getting controlled. Now, once you are done with the G code, what is the next step? So I would like you to focus. Okay, I'll just stop sharing. And I would like to focus on this iPad one, so that close. Okay. So we'll just go to the device, insert it. Is this panel visible? Okay, it's at distance. Let me just adjust the camera. Okay, so various options are visible to all of you. We will go, like, if you have to calibrate the machine, you can go to the setup and tools, but you are just doing the printing part, just go to the print option. Number of files are coming, go to your required file name. It will show you the G code for that. This was the G code, and click on the print. Okay. When it starts printing, by default, all the temperature, the time to print, the material to use is fed into the system. Now, the rest is the automatic thing which your machine is taking care. I'll explain you how the process is happening, what we have seen on the video, and how actually it will happen. So, let me just remove the iPad first. This is your actual material with which we are going to print, and this is your PLA. Apart from PLA, what we have ABS. This is white color ABS, orange color PLA, and this is the TPU. TPU is used to print flexible material objects. This is very flexible. So basically, objects like your mobile covers, you need TPU kind of material. I printed one of the earrings from TPU material. This earring is from PLA, and this is a necklace from PLA. What else do you have? This is a necklace from TPU. Anything else do I have? Okay, that's enough. Now, this material is getting fed into the extruder through one of your stepper motor. Okay. Yeah. So this part is your stepper motor, in which the actual filament is fed. Now, step by step, your filament is pulling or pushing inside the nozzle. Nozzle is this part, or the entire extruder. It has the heating sensing device, temperature sensing device, and the nozzle. Let me show you. This is your tiny nozzle. This one. Now, what will first thing happen? The first thing is your build plate will heat up. Now, as per your different materials, you have different build plate temperatures. Why? Because when the liquid material is coming down from the nozzle, due to ambient air, it will start solidifying. But we don't want the solidification to happen instantly. Okay? We want to wait until the next layer comes in and adheres itself to the first layer. So that's why we keep the build plate at a temperature. Okay. After the build plate will take its temperature, as you can see, the bed temperature is going to 59 and the estimated value is 60. So once this part is done, your nozzle will start heating up. Nozzle temperature we set at 211 degrees Celsius. Slowly it will rise up. Now, once this part is done, your extruder, it will take the origin value. For example, in our code, in our slicer body, let's go back to the prepare, close, move. Where is my object preview? Oh, I'm in layer view. No, but X-ray view. Nora. I need the layer view only, but I would like to go to prepare. And in the prepare, where is? Okay, let's reload again. Okay, it's here. Now, whatever default positions you have given here on this bed, for example, my default position is this. So your extruder will go exactly in that place and start printing your first layer. And by first layer, it will keep on printing. So nozzle has almost started heating up and liquid has started coming in. So in 1 or 2 minutes, it will actually start the process. Meanwhile, I'll discuss with you some maintenance. Yeah, just see. First, it's going to its home position, both the nozzle and your build plate. And always remember, for better adhesion, we use some kind of gluing element on your build plate. I have already used it, so I'm not using it right now. Now it will take the appropriate Z location. it has started printing at the exact location where it was on the slicer. And the first layers are coming. Okay, this is better. Okay, so this place is having less gluing material, so the initial layers are not sticking perfectly. So in such cases, what we can do, we can stop the print, restart the print, put the Fevi glue, and the things will turn up accordingly. So let's discuss meanwhile what are the maintenance we have to take care. So the very first thing we have to take care is after every print, clean your bed plates. Okay, you can use any soapy water and normal cloth to clean the bed plate. For nozzle, there is a proper cleaning procedure which needs at least 30 minutes of time. So I'll skipping that part. Now all the moving bodies like this rod, your stepper motors are on this bar steel rod. Okay, all these needs to be this one also timely lubricated. So one of the best lubricating and cleaning material we use is the WD-40. It cleans and it provides perfect lubrication at the same time. So see, the print is very bad because of the initial layers not adhering. And one more reason can be, I just stop this. One more reason is your bed leveling is not proper. Now, what is bed leveling? I'll just give you a verbal description. Bed leveling means, see, this level, this is your entire bed, okay? It has 4 corners. Now, all the 4 corners, your nozzle should touch at the same Z location. But because of some inclination, very minor it is, but it is there. Because of inclination, that is your bed leveling error, your Z location is different at here, and the first layers which are coming and dropping on the build plate, they are not dropping as a flat one, they are dropping at an inclined angle. As a result, your first layers start detaching from the build plate. So, bed leveling is one of your reasons why your prints are not good. Okay, not having a correct temperature is one of the reasons your print is not good. The quality of material you are using, that decides a lot what kind of print quality we will have. So Guna, this is how the entire printing happens, starting from a 3D model to a actual 3D prototype.
Mhm.
You have any questions, queries? You can ask me. Even you, Joyce, also.
So tell me one thing, like if let's say like I'm not downloading any model from anywhere, I want to create something, how can I do that?
Yes. So for that, you need a software, the CAD software. Now,
Yeah, I know that.
oh, perfect. So we have multiple CAD softwares. Few are online also. We can say 3D modeling online softwares. So you can go for the SketchUp, you can go for the Vectri or Tinkercad. Tinkercad is from Google. Tinkercad is most widely used. Vectri I have recently started using and I find it quite interesting and like it's very friendly to a designer.
Okay, and one more thing, like let's say I have something in with me, like some kind of object. Like, can I scan it in a 3D way? Like, can I do that?
Perfect. Yes, you can do that. For that, we need a 3D scanner. We try to work
Okay.
with the 3D scanner in our makerspace, but the scanner has a limitation. Like it can scan only miniature objects, not the big ones. And
Okay.
again, that scanning has a lot more procedure involved, but you can do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we can do it.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other thing?
Nothing. That's it. Thank you. Thank you for the demonstration.
Okay. So, okay, fine. As a feedback, just share what you have gained, what you were expecting, what was not meant as per your expectation, and what in future you might would like me to like include.
I mean, it's a nice initiative, like to like understand other people. Like mostly, I have good idea about 3D modeling and printing and all those things, but maybe like some of them maybe gain more knowledge on this. Like,
Okay, so I accept you as a experienced guest. Okay, so for an experienced guest, this beginning session was, I guess, little boring, might be.
maybe yeah, but
Yeah.
fine.
So even if you are a beginner, you are attending a beginner session. Was there something which I was lacking in my content, the flow of content?
I mean, what I could say is like rather than going into detailed things like how it works or like other detailed things, you can briefly say like how it works. Like I mean, you can maybe simplify the process, maybe explaining these things. That would be better, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Guna. That means a lot. And
Okay.
yeah, hopefully, so tomorrow we are having a laser cutting session. If you have time, the same time, 11 to 12:30, we can meet and discuss about laser cutting.
Okay. Thank you. Sure.
Thank you so much, Guna. Hi, Joyce. Are you there? I think he left for some work. So let's wrap up, or anything you would like to add on before we wrap up?
Nothing. Like how long it will take to make a 3D scan?
3D scan. Yes, scanning also takes time. If you scan a small object, last time we did, and it was taking at least 1 hour. Again, it depends upon the capability of the machine which you are using. How good is the scanner?
Okay. Okay. So is there any limitations for the scanning rather than just other than the size? Is there any other limitations?
Yes. For example, your scanner needs a platform on which you will keep the object, and the object will rotate. Okay, there is a camera which scanning continuously. Now, when the object is rotating, okay, maybe the detailed parts are not getting captured. So you have to like adjust the length, the distance at which you are keeping it again and again, depending upon the scanner again. So yes, the size, the distance at which you are taking the scanning, these things matters a lot. And how detailed is the object is one more thing.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you so much, Guna. I'll end this
Okay.
now.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye bye.